I plan on taking all of these strips and cutting them into smaller pieces, gluing them back together to create a very unusual look. It's kind of an optical illusion. This is some cherry, this is some beech, and this is some walnut. And they have just enough contrast in the colors that when I get them glued together, you'll understand why you need these shades of color. So I'm going to get set up with my sled and I'll start cutting the pieces. So I have my sled set up with this leg set for 30 degrees. So my first cut on this strip will be 30 degrees, and this is very, very critical that it is exactly 30 degrees. The next very important part of this is you check this dimension here, and when you measure your cut, that needs to be exactly the same length along this leg. This leg needs to be exactly the same. So I now have 3. You want to take and get the fuzzies cleaned off before you glue it, but those 3 will go together just like this, and they fit. So there's the operation. Those fit good. I will go ahead and cut all the pieces, and then we'll show you how they get glued together. So this is how I assemble them, and it's important that you keep the pattern, the grain direction, the same on all of them to get the effect that I'm looking for. And I'll get one glued up and I'll always have it in front of me that I can use for a reference. This one I have the grain going this way, the other 2 is going straight up. That gives it a nice look. So this can be glued very carefully like this. You could just glue it, and with glue in there it won't pull away. Just put a real strong rubber band around them and it'll pull all the joints. You can take some time and make sure the corners are meeting perfectly. They need to really be real close. So I made these little glue fixtures, which what they will do is I can assemble it like this, and I can clamp it across through here, and then I'll come back down and clamp the other direction. All the corners will line up. They'll be nice and tight glue joints. So I'm going to get one ready and I'll glue it up. And actually I've come up with these blocks. I built a much taller bowl than I'm doing here. So there's enough room to get 2, but I'll take this piece of formica I've cut out, lay it on top there to keep them from getting glued together. Okay, I'll just glue up a pair of these, and then I'll come back when they're all glued into little blocks like this and show you the next process that I do. There are 2 of them, and I have 4 sets of these blocks, so I'm going to proceed to do the rest of them. So the next step is to take the individual blocks and then glue them into a strip, like so. Just like that these had to be glued up in a particular manner, so does each individual block. So I have a walnut and a beech, walnut, beech, walnut beech. I have to maintain that or it's going to throw everything off. This is a little fixture that I made for the other tumbling bowls that I did. I'll be able to put this in here and this will line them up. I'll clamp it from this way and this way. It looks like it fits really good. Okay, I think they're ready. Okay, here's 4 of them glued together. I've scraped the glue off. I've gone into the corners with my 1/2-inch chisel. I've sharpened them up. Now the next thing to do is I'll be gluing a block here, here, and here. So there's three separate blocks. They need to be just like this is here. The walnut, the beech, and then the cherry. And you simply put it over like this. This way in the flat areas you never have 2 of the same wood touching each other except where they meet in the corners. So those will go here like that. And this I'll be able to use this little glue jig and I'll do these. So I'll get this glued and clamped. So right now I'm picking what I want to be my center, and I'm choosing it based on what's going to leave the best conditions on the outer edge and not have little slivers of wood. Here's the platter blanket. I've filled in all of the little areas that didn't have blocks with the corresponding colors that should be in there. I'm going to sand one side, and I'm going to get a block glued on here with a tenon so I can grab it in the chuck. So I'll do that and we'll have it set up in the lathe here pretty quick. Leave the tailstock against there until I round this off. Maybe start to create a bottom shape. So I'm going to start with my 1/2-inch bowl gouge that has a 40/40 grind on it and see how that cuts. Boy, that's nice. I got that up to 1800 RPM. Well, I don't get to turn too much stuff that way with it. I'm going to come around here and work on a shape. Right now I'm going to go over to the top of it and just flatten it out and see where I'm at before I cut it in more off the bottom. slow this down and sand. And I'm going to glue this on. There is a center on here, but I'll be re-truing everything once I get it going. I'll make sure that that feels like it's okay. That's got good contact. I'll let that glue set up overnight. I'll true up the tenon, turn it around, cut the inside, finish it, and I'll be able to reverse this again and get this tenon off and finish underneath that. Alright, I've got my turning reversed in the chuck. I have the tenon still on here that I hot glued in place, and these little locator pieces that I put on. I'm going to go ahead and pop those off, and then we'll start turning the inside shape here. I put a finish on the back side, but I didn't want to show that right now. So let me get those pieces off and I'll be right back. It's about the right height. Got about 1200 RPMs. What this creates, and you've probably already seen it while I worked on it, but it's a little stair step going on. So you get steps this way, you get steps down through there, and this is all about having 3 contrasting pieces of wood that will give you a shadowing effect. So we're going to get in here and do some scraping and sanding, and I'll put some finish on it. Alright, I have this all sanded up very, very smooth. So here's what it looks like. No finish on it yet, so I'm going to do that right now. Use the Howard feed and wax. I think that looks pretty nice. You can see how that just soaked it in. So I'm actually going to let this dry a little bit, and I'll put another application of it on there. I'm going with the grain on that walnut right now, just to make sure there's nothing inside of there of that grain that didn't get some of this finish, because all of this wood is a little bit porous, and I want it to get all the color it can get. Well, that walnut just lights up as I twist it. You can see it there too. In order to finish the bottom, I made this simple jam chuck. It fits so well there is no need to clamp the turning in place. I am using 320 sandpaper to finish the small area here. In order to avoid breaking up the effect of the tumbling blocks, I did not write on it. There, that about does it. Now to get some finish on it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please click like, and if you feel like subscribing, I'd appreciate that. I have a lot more videos ready to upload, and I've got a stack of wood that I want to turn. Thanks for watching.